Folks, this show is, it's not free just doing this business.
Oh, you got that right.
The following program is intended for mature audiences. Welcome.
I hate my fucking self. God damn it. I just did something fucking dumb. Listening to Tuesdays with Stories like I do, and, they're about to start reading ads. But before they do, Joe List goes, hey man, doing this shit is not free. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna send them a fucking message.
I'm gonna take my own life now.
All right, I'll watch.
Like, I don't want to bother the guy, either of them, to try to get them on the podcast because, I'm fucking... There's no benefit in it for him. I mean, honestly, what are we fucking doing? It'd only benefit me. We're all gonna be uncomfortable the entire time. Had to do it over Skype. It'd be a whole fucking nightmare. But anyway, I messaged this dude and I said, I come off like such a fucking salesman, and I don't even work for these motherfuckers. But I was thinking to myself, like, dude, they're on SoundCloud, right? And if you've been around the pod for a while, then you know that I started on SoundCloud also. It was paying these fucking cunts whatever amount of money that it was. I don't remember, to be honest with you. But, then by chance we came across Anchor, and it happens to be free, and we get on all the same fucking platforms that we were on before, and more. Well, no, because before we were only on fucking SoundCloud. Through Anchor, at least, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Breaker, Overcast, fucking Castbox, TuneIn, Stitcher, the whole fucking deal. Right? So I figured I'll just send it to him. If they use it, they use it. He's probably going to be like, oh, fuck this guy. He says you don't work for them. I bet you this motherfucker is trying to make commission off of me right now. Whatever. I sent it to him. And I was like, look, this shit is free. So you can use it for the podcast. I'll put you on all the same platforms. All you got to do is switch your RSS feed. And that's it. And when I sent it, because I put Anchor.fm, the little thing came up on it. And I was like, fuck. I better say just one other thing, which sucks is I didn't want to hit the enter button when I pressed it, because I sent it too early. I was trying to space, and I pressed enter, so now I gotta send this guy 2 fucking messages, which is not good. It's not good. He's probably in the middle of doing spots right now, and his fucking phone is vibrating. He's looking down like, who the fuck is this guy? The fuck does this guy want from my life? And I'm like, sorry, I don't mean to bother you. Just trying to fucking help. Love the podcast and all that shit. So, there that is. It's fucked up because I was struggling, still am struggling to come up with something to talk about that it can be interesting. So, this motivated me to get in here. I started recording another one earlier today, which I'm probably not even going to use, but Terminator Timeline is January 21st, 8:37. I'll be at the dock every day at noon, fucking up that line from the movie. Don't give a shit. But, another thing that kind of motivated me was watching Boston Legal, and, there's this show, I think, was on in like 2005. I don't know when exactly. Okay, I pulled up this show. The first episode date was October 3rd, 2004. And the final episode date was December 8th, 2008. But it was during the time, so it had to be like 08. I think it started in 2004 or 2005. and went till whenever it went until. But in this episode, they're talking about the election where it's Obama and Hillary are running, basically the top dogs here. And one of the people from the Republican Party comes in and it's like, I don't know why, but John McCain's not really doing it for us, so we want you, Denny Crane, to be a candidate for the Republican Party. So he's doing it, and then when he's talking to Alan Shore about it, which is Denny Crane's William Shatner, and Alan Shore is James Spader. If you don't know, you should check it out. Well, I'm not going to go into the whole fucking thing. It doesn't matter. The point is that when he's talking to Alan about this, he's like, why? Alan's like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, what do you think you're doing, man? And he's like, dude, there's been plenty of other nut jobs that have been put up as a candidate. He names one person I never heard of before in my life. And then, funny enough, at least to me, he says Donald Trump, and then he says Jesse Ventura. And all I could think was, fast forwarding, Terminator timeline, here we are, sitting pretty in 2020, and Donald Trump is the fucking president. Even back then, I guess they were joking around about the idea that this guy could have been in, and I don't know if they ever thought that he would be. I mean, obviously he is, but that's not the conversation. The point is that I took a few seconds of where he says that, other nut jobs have been put up before, blah 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 blah, right? And I put it up on my Instagram stories. Just a little quick thing, trying to be cute, whatever. And then Instagram messages me back, and they saying, we notice that this is copyrighted material that belongs to somebody else, so your Instagram story has been blocked.
Motherfucking you fucking piece of shit!
And I said, motherfucker. Not for nothing, man, but this whole copyright block thing is motherfucking annoying. Now, look, it's different. I'm not sitting on Instagram Live streaming a fucking movie. Alright, I'm not streaming a fucking whole movie here. I'm not listening to an entire album front to back. I'm not doing any of that shit. But these motherfuckers carry on as if that's what I'm doing. Now, I understand how it works. These people gotta make their money, whatever. I don't know how residuals work or anything like that. If people get paid for me watching an episode of this shit, I don't know what all goes on. I'm not an actor, so it is what it is. But it got me to thinking, like, so what's fucked up is I could go out right now. Well, technically, not really. I would load up a web page right now, and I would go buy an album, or say I buy all the seasons of fucking Boston Legal, and then even then, I understand it's not my product. I didn't greenlight the show. I didn't write it. I didn't hire the actors. I'm not an actor on it. But if I bought it, shouldn't I then be able to, in a limited capacity, be able to reference said album and or show? Again, I'm not talking about putting an entire fucking episode on here. Not at all. To the contrary. The most I would ever do is take a fucking 2-minute clip, 3-minute clip of something, and that's it. But now, copyright shit has been crazy for a while, but now it's starting to get heavy.
Whoa, this is heavy.
So, I don't know, dude. I just put up something called Jukebox, which was, I was in here a few weeks ago. It was Christmas Eve, I think, where I was over at my sister-in-law's, basically, and they were listening to iHeartRadio. A fucking Ace of Base comes on, which I have not heard that shit since, I can't even tell you when. I can't even tell you when the last time was that I haven't actively seeked it out either, so there is that. It's just a point, dude. So then I go down this whole fucking rabbit hole of music, and I pull up 2000, the year 2000s, not 2000 songs, but the year 2000's top 100 hits, just to be like, you know, what else was coming out around that time that I know that I may have forgotten about or whatever. So, you know, I do it, and of course, when I uploaded it to YouTube the first time, you know, there was Depeche Mode was all the way at the end, which I don't even remember the fucking name of the song, but it doesn't matter. They're like, oh, your entire video is blocked because of copyright reasons. Alright, fine. Whatever. I go in the video editor, I cut out the end of it, I stitch it up together with something else, cut it out of the audio, I do the whole fucking thing, dude. I go to upload it again, and now something else is blocked. Fucking Missy Elliott song is blocked. And I'm like, dude, I'm not doing this. Every time I edit one out, they're like, oh, well, what about this one that you played literally 4 seconds of?
Surely you're joking.
We're copyright blocking it. I'm not making money, dude. So it doesn't matter. It's not like I'm taking money out of your fucking pocket. And with 4 seconds of a song, whatever it is, that's like a sample size, quite literally. You know, you could fucking turn it into a goddamn mumble rap song with the amount of time that I'm using. So I don't understand. If I was playing the whole song and doing a commentary on it, whatever, I could understand that. And I know that reaction videos are on their way out, thank fucking God. That nonsense is almost over. Having been a part of it myself, shamelessly enough, which is probably how I swindled you into even listening to this podcast in the fucking first place. But that's how YouTube is done now. It's not about being creative, it's about marketing. It's about tricking people into somehow staying on your channel longer than they would need to be able to see what your ideas are, what you come out with, what you wind up doing. So you gotta swindle them in with reaction videos, or however the fuck it is that you do it. Because I'm not judging, just pointing at it and said this is what it is. You don't have to like it, that's what it is, but that's what it is. So, I mean, I don't know, man. This is fucking crazy. How long is it gonna be? I mean, I know everybody has heard that crazy story of the person that got their video copyright blocked for humming a song, which is fucking ridiculous. But I mean, this is getting out of control. Right? Are we gonna get to a point where because I put a video up on YouTube of what I'm doing, YouTube is gonna copyright block my own content from me because I upload it to their site and they fucking own it? Are we gonna get there soon? I'm sure we are. And that's the other thing too. With OBS, I'm able to live stream for now. We'll see how long that lasts. And I can do it on multiple platforms. So I might wind up starting a stream on Twitch. If that does happen, you know, I'll put the link out wherever so nobody can find it and click on it and follow along. I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't give a shit, man. I'm tired already. I'm fucking tired, dude. The marketing strategy end of what this all is annoying, and I don't like it. I just want to be able to fucking create and do what I want to do, and that's it. But that's not... Oh, poor you. You don't like You don't like having to market a product that you're making? That must suck for you. How terrible is that? But the reality is, everybody is doing the same shit. Everybody is doing the same shit. So, I mean, I can try all day. It could take years before anything happens. I don't mean money. I don't mean crowds of people. Just to have a snack size of a fucking audience to listen to what I'm doing. So we'll see if it even makes it through this year. We'll see what happens through this year. Where is it going? What is happening? Because I honestly feel like I don't know if I'm going to be able to do what I like to do. I mean, I might have to cut drops out of the podcast altogether because it's getting to the point where I can't upload it onto YouTube. And I know that Anchor and Spotify and whoever probably keep their eyeballs and ears out for that type of shit. And probably the fact that I just uploaded something with a bunch of music in it is not helping my cause at all. But I did tag it by saying, that's the last of it, dude. That's it. I actually did it as an experiment. Just because I want to see if somebody winds up, sending me one of those generated emails being like, hey, you're not able to monetize on this platform. Or whatever it is that they're going to do. I'm waiting for it. But I mean, I have some backup ideas. If this thing doesn't wind up working, what I might be able to do is I could just go back to the beginning and maybe just live stream on something for an hour, whatever it might be. And then once I'm done, I'm done. That's it. End it. And that's the way it will be. It's going to be completely different because there is no editing or any of that shit. Whatever happens, happens, and that's it. But again, it all depends on what direction that this shit is going to go in. I'll be back in a minute. Laughing at Birds every Saturday, iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, Castbox, and a bunch of other platforms. I think social interaction is not my strong suit. Just because I never know, especially with somebody like Mark Norman, who must deal with all types of crazy people on the regular, being a comic, how his shit is going to be perceived. But my heart was in the right place, man, just trying to help people to continue to create and do good shit. But anyway, let me get into the social medias quickly. At Laughing Birds on Twitter, at Laughing Birds Pod on Instagram. Both of those platforms feature clips from upcoming podcast episodes, and the Instagram also has artwork trying to help Jen out, so I'll plug that. If for no other reason, you should at least stop by the gram and check it out. It's definitely cool shit. So, I mean, that's it for the social medias, really. Like, there is a Facebook page, but I don't really like the way Facebook operates, so. Plus, I really don't know what the hell I'm doing, so that doesn't help at all. I thought it would be cool to have an extra platform, but really it's just a waste of time. Especially because they want money to promote the damn thing. Like, I don't want to focus on the marketing aspect. I got into this shit because it's what I love to do, and I don't want to allow that end of what it is that I'm doing to discourage me and suck the fucking joy out of what it is that I do. So I'm gonna try to bring it back to basics and remember exactly why I got into this shit. I gotta constantly remind myself that it's alright to just do what you love. But, it's difficult when you argue with yourself and you have an overactive brain like I got. Anyway, let's get back into the show. I don't know. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. God damn it. Well, I told you, I sent a message to fucking Norman, and he just wrote back, God love you. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Bless your heart. Go screw yourself.
I think he's like, thanks, and, leave me the fuck alone. This is what I said. I said, hey, Mark, I'm not sure if you and Joe know about Anchor. I don't work for them, just a regular gay. Listening to Retro Gay, Joe said it's not free to do. I know you're on SoundCloud and all that, but this app is free. It'll put you on all the same platforms. Just need to put in your RSS feed. Love the pod, sorry to bother you, just want to help out my favorite homos. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. I don't want to bug this guy. I mean, I like what he does. I enjoy his comedy. I love his fucking radio appearances. I fucking have seen a bunch of podcasts that he has done, and just off of that alone, I wouldn't ask him to do mine. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, why wouldn't you? Well, I mentioned this earlier. It's because there's nothing in it for him. What does he get out of it? Other than being uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable, you gotta talk to a stranger you don't even know. Alright, and he said it on his podcast before. Him and Joe List, both. Who, if you're not aware, Joe List is a set on Netflix. Norman's got a couple comedy albums out. I gotta find out where I can fucking plug shit that he does. Well, Tuesdays with Stories is out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher. Check your local listings. You can find it. Comes out every Tuesday, obviously. And fuck. They got a Patreon that you can join for $3 a month. You can get all kind of extra fucking content. So that's pretty cool. And so I'll plug that for now. Until I could find the proper shit to plug for him. Because, I like both these guys. But, look, if I had a strong following, it would be different. I would be more confident in being like, hey, I want to expose you to my group of people. But the reality is that, I don't. And, not for nothing, but I have poison in my brain, Gray matter. Just having the last dude that I had on the show, I don't think that he even meant to put it like this, but it seemed like it was an inconvenience for him to put a clip out on Instagram. I don't know if that's how he feels, but I sent him the whole fucking podcast, the video and the audio, so he can upload it onto his iTunes, and I don't think he did. I'm gonna check real quick, because yesterday, see, it used to be my episode with him popped up the first couple of days. For the first 4 days that I had it up, or whatever it was, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, yeah, so for up until yesterday, so for the first 3 days that I've had it up, it was popping up. When you search where's this going, you would see the podcast episode that I did with him, but now it's not coming up, and he doesn't have it on his podcast iTunes. So let's stalk it up and let's check his YouTube.
know your time is valuable. Thank you for holding. Someone will be with you as soon as possible.
By that time, the prostitute could be dead.
Make sure you get your whole head in front of the shotgun. Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling.
Wonder if does mine still come up? No, what the fuck? I don't understand what happened. Why does the episode that I did with him not come up anymore when you search his podcast? That would have been very helpful. Fucking... Well, I don't know, maybe that's how the algorithm works. Because... No, oh, well, it does, except now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 17. It's the 30th fucking thing down. Nobody's getting that far. All the way, once it starts to go into unrelated fucking subjects, that's when my shit comes up, which is fucking ridiculous. And it was 3 days ago that I posted it, so whatever. On the third day, the podcast guys said you will no longer pop up in a relevant feed because nobody clicked on your fucking thing. Maybe I should have clicked it a whole bunch of times. Maybe that would have helped. Yeah, and it's not on his YouTube either. So, there's that. I guess he didn't like that. See, in my head now, that proves to me, which means absolutely nothing, he didn't like the way it came out. Because if he did like the way it came out, he would have fucking posted it on... If not YouTube, then at least his podcast platform, because he put the clip out that I cut and I sent to him. He put it in and cut his own clip the way that he wanted it to look, and then never posted it anywhere, so that's not fucking helpful. I mean, if you were gonna do that, you should have just put... I would have gave you a link to put it in with your promotion. See, this is another reason why, because I don't want to do this. I hate doing this. Even though I went against my better judgment and tried to get somebody from Castbox on the fucking podcast, which I'll go over that email quickly since we're sitting here and nothing's going on. Yeah, I know normally I can... Your video has been removed. Cool, appreciate it. We removed the video you posted at 4:55 because it include Boston Legal. If you have permission to share everything in this video, including audio, like soundtrack for the music, you can appeal the removal and repost it. Remember that people should only post videos they have the right to share. Suck my dick, Facebook. Fucking cocksuckers. I never gave you the permission to... Well, yeah, I did, by using your fucking gay programming. Hate myself. Should have never fucking signed up for Facebook. Thanks a lot, Jen's brother. Oh, you need a Facebook page. Everybody's on Facebook now. Yeah, well, I'm glad that I did it. Ugh. Even the MySpace fucked me. That's how the cops got me. Social media. Unbelievable. Anyway. And I'll go into the whole story of how this happened. It's not really a story. Rather brief. Boxers. Not a real good fucking segue. Too much resemblance to Tuesdays anyways. But... Castbox put something up on their Instagram feed that says, we support indie artists. What can we do for you? And one dude in the comment section said, how about you pick a podcast every week and promote them? great fucking idea. I don't know why they're not already doing that. And not the big ones, the mainstream ones. How about the ones that are not so mainstream? You know? He says with his own interests in mind. Well, you know, I mean, come on. The fuck? But they're never gonna do that. So anyway, I responded to them. Why don't you come on, somebody from the company, come on my show, and I want to talk to you about what it's like on the other side of the microphone. You know, how did the company come to be? Who decided they wanted to get into this? How did you do it? And they were like, So you're saying you want one of us to be on your podcast? I said, exactly. They said, all right, send the email to this person at, you know, whatever the fuck it was, and, you know, go into more detail. So I got my fucking professional deal going, and I emailed them the following. Hello?
Hello? Is it me you're looking for?
I don't know that song. I said, I know it probably seems out of the ordinary for a podcast to request a host to be a guest. However, I've never heard the story behind why or how the host decided to be just that. Often, the majority of podcasts come standard with a background story, why they do it, who influenced them, and where they plan to be going with it in the future. Nothing wrong with that. This, though overlooked, wouldn't be possible without a place to speak from. Well, I could have worded that better. That's exactly why I want to open that dialogue. I am big on exploring ideas as well as the journey it took to bring them to life. I will leave an interview I did in the past within this email, so if you are curious as to what you are thinking of getting into, you will have an idea. Before I end this and press send, I want to add that I am genuinely interested in Castbox history. I think it could benefit podcasters and possible hosts of the future. Understanding how one goes about creating these types of endeavors may assist in having a solid foundation in the days to come. One thing that I really enjoy is watching the behind the scenes from two my favorite. Jesus Christ. One thing I really enjoy is watching the behind the scenes to my favorite movie. While not everybody wants to know how the hot dogs are made, it is important to have the details available for those who do. In closing, I always wanted to work in some branch of the radio. Podcasting to some may seem like a different animal, but it gives a voice to many of us. Many who otherwise would not have the ability to build something from the ground up. I think it would be tremendous to outline a blueprint for those on both sides of the microphone. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Hope to hear back from you soon. Laughing at Birds podcast. Then I put in the link for Castbox, nudge nudge, and the YouTube link, because between me and you, when I tried to play it to make sure it was going to work when I sent it to them, it wouldn't play. So I threw in the YouTube link as well. And then today, at 3:01 p.m., I get, hi, Laughing at Bird team. Doesn't even say birds. Bird. Laughing at Bird team. Thank you so much for reaching out. Suck our dicks. Unfortunately, we are not available for interviews because our CEO is based in China, and she is the face of the company. However, if you'd like to learn how CastBox came to be, we can schedule a quick, off-the-record phone call. Let me know what you think. And then, however you say your name. And honestly, I'll tell you exactly what I think. You're not going to listen to this anyway, so it doesn't matter. But for the people that are at home wondering, what does he do from here? Nothing. That's what I do from here. We can schedule a quick off-the-record phone call? For fucking what? That would be completely useless. Off the record would intend that I then would not be able to use any of the information that was given to me because it's off the record. You're probably gonna have me sign some fucking verbal NDA or some bullshit like that. It's not worth it, man. So, you know, I tried to do a genuine thing. I really did, honestly, want to know more about how this thing came to be, because doing this has given a lot of people a voice or the ability to broadcast theirs in some way. I mean, since we're on the fucking topic of CastBox, you know, I also reached out to them on a separate occasion through a conversation on a post of theirs, and I said, how do I figure out who my podcast gets recommended to? And they were like, what? We don't understand what the fuck you're talking about. I didn't think it was that difficult to understand, but I don't always word things the right way. So I messaged them privately and I said, here's what I'm saying. Take Joe Rogan, for example. And I use him because he's one of the biggest names in the podcast world. So if you don't know who the fuck Joe Rogan is, in general, you're slipping. But, man, whatever. And I said, say I'm listening to a Joe Rogan podcast. When I'm done with it, or however the suggestions come up, you know, there then may be a recommendation for Joey Diaz's podcast, The Church of What's Happening Now. What I'm trying to figure out is what somebody may be listening to, like who the people are that are listening to it. If they're listening to a different podcast, somebody's, I don't know who, would be in the same category as me, but you know, they listen to somebody and then they get recommended my podcast. To which I found out that's not the case. That's not what happens at all. As a matter of fact, to the contrary. The only time that your podcast gets recommended to other people is once there's a massive shift in either plays and or downloads. And they said it has to be in the hundreds of thousands. This person then went on to say, I'm not the numbers person in this organization, but I do know that. So nobody is getting recommended your podcast. So in other words, in order to gain listeners, you have to automatically show up with the hundreds of thousands of fucking listeners just to get other people. By the time I reach hundreds of thousands of listeners, I don't give a fuck who is getting recommended to. It won't matter because I'll already have my fucking audience. So you want to know why this shit... All I wanted was a fair shake. That's all. And I'm obviously not going to get it. You know, there's a reason why 40 people show up a week, if that. And I appreciate every one of you motherfuckers. But the bottom line is, we're never going to expand. Because you already have to be in the know, which is completely fucking useless. So maybe I'll get lucky. Somebody big time will listen to the show and they'll mention it somewhere. Other than that, we stay underground. We stay to ourselves. And if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. Simple as that. Been having a problem lately. For the last 3 days, I've been trying to figure out what the fuck am I gonna talk about to bring me back into this room. Now, I'm not crazy. I'm fully capable of understanding that, including this episode, because I just put out the other one that I already mentioned earlier, which was probably about an hour ago. But I'm fully aware that including this episode, this will be coming out on the 29th of February. If once I'm done with it, I edit it and it gets uploaded and put into the next slot that is available. So I've had episodes done since December. I've had 2 episodes done. Since then, I've added 3, plus this one. So, we're good all through next month, which is great. But the problem now is, I just want to make sure that I got something always cooking in here. And there's nothing wrong with taking some time off. But where it starts to bug me is like, oh fuck, am I done? Is this it? Have I exhausted the only thing that I'm decent at doing? Could this be it? Was a year all I had in the tank? Is the fucking show over? I don't know. And I get nervous. I know I don't need to. I know there's episodes that are coming out. But when I can't think of something, and it's not uncommon to hit a wall, especially when you've pre-recorded as much as I have. Now, before, usually the way the process would work is there would be a podcast that would come out on Saturday. And then usually from Saturday night through Wednesday, I would record a new one. And then I would spend Wednesday to Friday night editing. And then get it ready, schedule it to be sent out on Saturday, and then repeat the whole process over again. Sometimes, if I have the extra time or the ideas, I'll pre-record, which is how all this started. And then when I originally got that dude on the podcast, whenever there's a guest on, you can already know that there's an episode that is scheduled to come out before their episode, before and after, just in case they wind up flaking out on me. I always try to have something done before that. And the reason why I do that is because originally, when the first dude that canceled out on me fucked me over, and then BC originally canceled out on me, within days of canceling the other dude, I was pretty pissed off when I came in here and I recorded some shit. Also went live and talked a whole bunch of nonsense. But I decided right then and there that I wasn't going to do that anymore. I was going to have some shit already pre-recorded, but I think in that particular time, I didn't have the time to pre-record something. I honestly don't remember. But now I always make sure that I have something put away. Aside from the fact that there is another guest lurking around that I'm probably not going to get. And honestly, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Guy probably wound up fucking blocking me anyway. Not that I would know if he did, but I fucking sent this dirtbag a message on the 15th. It's the 21st. I know you're reading it. And I know what you're thinking, like, dude, and people have lives, whatever. It don't take that long to write a message. I don't care what the fuck you do. If the President of the United States has the time to fucking send out a tweet, whatever your job is, you can take a fucking 5-second break out of your day and just be like, yeah, I'm still interested, or no, I'm not interested, and leave it at that. Instead, you say nothing, which is fine. Plans were made, and plans got fucked right up the ass. Right in their fucking mom's house. Side bedroom. Right there. Bed creaking, headboard slamming, the whole fucking deal, dude. Mom's sitting out in the living room trying to watch TV, listen to her fucking kid getting railed. That's no good. That's no good for anybody. I'm not speaking personal experience, I'm just saying. We're not strangers to rejections here. You know, there have been a couple of people that have flaked out. Other people who said they wanted me to do shit for them. Ugh. Now Instagram is getting creepy now. I'm aware. Half hour ago, Mark Norman sent me that message. Then Instagram's going to send me another message right now because I made the mistake of updating it. Then now they're on the same fucking level as Facebook now, where they're constantly trying to get me to be on the app 24 hours a day, as if I don't have a fucking life. Which, I mean, I really don't. But anybody that reaches out to me, I make sure to get back to them. 99% of the comments that are written to me on YouTube, I answer in some capacity. So, you know, I do all that shit because I understand what it's like to be on the other side of it. Where people are just like, yeah, fuck you, whatever. So I don't want people to feel that way. Unfortunately, people are going to feel whatever fucking way they want, which is going to be the second half of this podcast. Because I was working on that earlier, but I'll just fucking throw that in after this is done. Whenever the fuck I decide that I'm done running my fucking yap for the time being. Oh, which, by the way, there's another mumble rapper video that I put out. Another 5'3" video. Well, I didn't put it out. He put it out. Because he's his own fucking person, character, whatever. I flirted with the idea of... And I know this is fucking ridiculous. But I have flirted with the idea of interviewing this mumble rapping asshole that I made up. I've considered it. I would have no idea how I would do it, what would go into it, and I'm not looking to do it anytime soon. Whenever I get around to it, if I feel like it, I'll do it. But I'm not really that good at video editing, so it's definitely not going to happen anytime soon. And if by some miracle I did wind up recording it, the editing process would take so goddamn long you wouldn't get it for weeks anyway. But that's not important. I don't know. Hopefully nothing bad. But hopefully something will happen at some point over the next week or so that will inspire me to want to get in here and get something else going. So we brought up copyright shit on YouTube and the podcast platforms. Sending Mark Norman a message. Not invited him on the podcast, not because I don't like him, for other reasons. Guests being on, like, I think I go out of my way a little too much. I know the saying is never come off hungry even when you're starving. And I think people mistake my being nice for desperation. That's a problem. But if that's the case, then, you know what, that's their loss. As long as I act accordingly to how I feel I should treat other people, then fuck them. But, you know, this is why, again, for the 100th time I'm gonna mention it, this is why I do this shit by myself, because I don't have these thoughts, and of course they get replaced with other ones, like, oh, you should try to get a guest on so people don't only hear your voice, not realizing that if you're listening to this, you probably enjoy whatever the fuck it is that I'm talking about, or you hate listening to this because you can't stand me, and you're listening to it because you got, I don't know, you enjoy being aggravated. I don't know what your fucking reasons are. To which, by the way, even though I've already talked a whole bunch of shit about this that I'm going to stitch in later, you know, what the fuck, man? I don't need your attitude, alright? You keep your fucking snooty musical opinions and shove them up your mother's fucking asshole. I don't need that bullshit. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? You some kind of fucking connoisseur? You're important, like what you fucking think matters? The difference between me and you is I know what I say doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna have a mental breakdown if I stop doing what I'm doing. But that's content as a whole. If you're not consistent, people will forget about you and they'll move on. Nobody likes to think that way, but it's a fact. Some people, though, just like to be dickheads, I think, and they want to get a response, and I've learned the hard way that you can't always give them what they want. No matter how it makes you feel, you can't give into that, because that's what they want you to do. If they come at you shitty, they want you to come back at them because they want to know that they have changed your vibe enough that you feel that you have to tell them to go fuck themselves. The best thing that you can do is just ignore them. And I know that's the same thing we've heard our entire lives from people is, oh, if you don't got nothing nice to say, or kill them with kindness, or whatever fucking dumb shit you want to say. But it is true, because all they want is that reaction, so don't fucking give it to them. And you know, I could say some other shit too, but I already said my piece at a different time in a different video buried somewhere on the fucking YouTube channel. But you know what? I'll just say this, and I guess we'll wrap it up with this. You don't have to like everything that I do. You don't have to love every subject that I talk about.
Oh, man. My dick's on fire.
I'll take this and I'll run with it. If you're into positivity now, that's great. Good for you. I'm happy for you. But don't fucking act like now all of a sudden, 100% of the time, all I want to do is be positive. Stop that. Stop that. Nobody buys it. You don't even buy it when you do it. There's nothing wrong with it. Fake it till you make it. I get it. But come on, man. Life is not 100% positive all the time.
Life was like a box of chocolates.
No matter how happy you want to be. You know, it flies in the face of reality is what it is. But, you know, people are gonna be however the fuck they are. At the end of the day, I started in this shit alone, had some help for a little while, went back to doing it by myself, and now here we are. So, this is what it is. This is my fucking adventure. People are gonna come and go, and that's fine. I welcome them. I try to help everybody. Unfortunately, it seems that road is a one-way street. You can help and help and help and help, but you're just gonna get used. Because regardless of what all these fucking people write in their articles about guest spots and promotion and press kits and everything else, nobody wants to help. They all want to be helped. They all want the leg up from the big person to come and scoop them up and save the fucking day and make them a big deal. They don't want to help you out when you're on the same level as them. I mean, sure, maybe they'll grab a little bit of free promotion out of it, but that's it. After that transaction, fuck you. I came, I'm out. I'm not calling you tomorrow, and I will duck every phone call that you make to me from here on out, because I got what I want. Fuck you. Maybe not everybody's like that. Maybe sometimes things come up in life, and you don't have the amount of time that you would like to dedicate to whatever, but fuck, you don't even get that excuse anymore. It's 2020. Social media is every fucking where. It takes 2 seconds to write a fucking message. You don't get the luxury of saying you don't have time anymore. Because everybody sees you. Everybody sees what you're doing. We know that you're out and around. Don't post on Facebook and say you didn't have time to call. Don't do that. Because then you look like a fucking idiot. You know, all you're basically saying is, I don't really want to fuck with you, so I'm going to lie to you and saying that I didn't have the time. I did. I just didn't want to be fucking bothered. So, don't take it personally. Don't dig into that, because then I'm going to get defensive and offended at the fact that you're calling me out on my bullshit lie, and I don't like that. So then we'll just concretely stop being cool because you called me out on my bullshit and I don't like it. I just want to be able to lie to you, and you know I'm lying and I know I'm lying, but rather than one of us addressing it, we both just pretend that I'm telling the truth even though I'm not. This shitty fucking way to be. Just be honest. Life is too goddamn short. Life's too short for all that, man. And for once, I thought we were going to get through a podcast. I'm going to have to bring the mood up in this shit a little bit. No, I don't. I'll do what the fuck I want. This is honest. So, however I'm feeling at the time is whatever's going to come out. But this should be already an hour. Maybe a little bit over. So, Saturday's podcast, I'm out.